Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. This episode is really going to actually kind of contradict what I'm going to say many of us really think of as an energy of power. And I'm just going to come right out and say it is that calm is the new power. Calm, yes, calm, not this fast paced environment that we tend to always be in. And it's interesting because Babes in Business was at Spirit and Soul for their first meeting of the year. And we were talking about how the general energy of like what people were saying is that, you know, they feel like they're not hustling into the new year. They're not rushing into the new year. What they feel like they're doing is actually like flowing into the new year. Even one of my business coaching clients was like, I feel like I'm flowing into the new year. And it got me thinking because I feel the same way. Like, even though, and when I say flowing, it doesn't mean that you don't have like excitement. There can be excitement and still have an energy of calm behind it. And if we're all or allowing ourselves to be, and that's what we're going to talk about today, if we're all allowing ourselves to be in this energy of like this collective pace where we're finding some calm, then what we thought we knew, which was like, or what our realities were, was this overstimulated, rushed mentality, which, and like mentally always on. I know that so many of you can resonate with that, right? Like always being mentally on, feeling like you can't rest, like you have to perform, you have to always be productive or doing something. This is an energy that we can maybe start to put to the side, and we don't have to allow it to define us anymore. And I know for me, I want the energy of calm in my life. And I'm actually calling that in. I even just on my way in today, I was saying how I'm in this surrendered belief state. And what I mean by that is like there is a calm around my manifestations. There's a calm around the things that I'm calling in my life because I know with certainty that things are happening for me, that they're already here, I'm just like reaching out and touching it and it's right there. And because I know that, I am certain about it, I can just surrender to it. And I look back and I'm like, I could have been this way the whole time, right? Like I really could have been in this state because what is coming with that state is calm. There's a calmness about it. There's no hustle energy, even though I'm working and I'm moving and I'm getting things done. There's not that hustle. I have to do this. I have to do that. It's just all happening. And so I can just be calm in that state. And if we can let ourselves be in a state of rest and still be productive, like sometimes we need to slow down before you speed up, right? And you slow down so that you can gather and you can gather that power. And what can happen is if you don't allow yourself to do that, you're going to eventually just burn out, right? So we are at the beginning of a new year if you're listening to this in real time. And if you're not, you can start over at any moment, okay? But we are at the beginning of a new year and we don't have to choose old ways of being. And we have all of these, I'm sure you have goals and you have things that by the end of this year that you want to accomplish. And it might feel like right now you're running to do the things, or if you're trying to do them, and I'm going to say trying in quotes, where you're like not really making the space for it, you're still going back to old ways of being, then you're probably still in that state. And here's what's happening here with all of this is that your brain, your body, mostly your brain, knows what's comfortable. And when you're comfortable in something, it is familiar. And the mind likes what is familiar. Even if what is familiar is uncomfortable, it's still familiar. And so anything that you try to bring about that's new, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Your mind is going to butt up against it, fight against it. You will make up excuses about why you can't do it because it is unfamiliar to the mind. All you have to do is push through that. And I'm telling you, it is as simple as that. It is as simple as just saying, we got this. We're doing it anyway. Immediately stop, brain, we're good. And when you can actually push through that, push past that, truly what will happen is your mind, your body will start to see that, oh, okay, wait a second, we're safe in this. And so if we're safe in it, now we can start to make it familiar, and that will become your new familiar. So I'm saying all of this because calm may feel unfamiliar to you. And what's going to happen is calm may feel unsafe to the mind. And all that you have to do is push past that. So what we want to do, and what I'm asking you to do, is really start to seek out calm, even amongst chaos, even amongst busyness, finding your peace, finding your calm inside. So when you start to do this and start to slow down, like think about when you go on vacation, right? Like this is the thing I want you to think about right now, because this is a real life example that I know that you'll get. If you are a person that is like always busy, always busy, always busy, the first 2 days of your trip, you are having a hard time slowing down. Your mind is still racing. Your heart may be beating fast. You feel like if you sit down, like let's say you're at a beach and like you sit down by the water, even sometimes the calm of the water or like how it's lapping up on the beach might be a little bit irritating to you. It might feel good for a second, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there and the nervous system starts to kick in. And it's like, you should be moving. You should be doing something because we're not safe when we rest. And so all of a sudden the waves feel a little bit for a moment, and then you start to push past it, right? But the waves, the sound of the waves might feel like it's too calm. You sitting there reading a book, you might be antsy. You might feel good at first, and then all of a sudden you start to look around. What are we going to do? Where are we going? What time's dinner? Where do we have to be, right? Like start asking yourself all these questions because the calm feels a little bit unsafe in the mind and in the body. And what's happening here is that when you slow down, you're removing distractions. You're removing the distractions, and busyness is a distraction. It's a distraction. It doesn't mean that sometimes we don't have to be busy. We do. A lot of times we are busy because those are the lives that we live. But busyness, when we are busy, it distracts us from ourselves. It distracts you from your power within. It distracts you from what's going on inside, the things you've buried down. And so what's happening as you're settling is that inner noise, that inner dialogue starts to surface. The things that you kind of been keeping at bay start to come up. And so as it's coming up, you're like, okay, what are we going to do? Where are we going, right? So calm can feel very unfamiliar if you've been living in urgency, if you've been living in survival, if you feel like you're recognizing that like you're in a victim mindset. Calm is going to be very unfamiliar to you. And what the nervous system starts to adapt, actually, like your nervous system is always going to adapt to your surroundings because it always has to keep you safe. So your nervous system is actually adapting to the urgency and to the intensity. So that's why when you start to settle into that, lounge chair on the beach and you start to read, and then all of a sudden those thoughts start to come up because you're calming down, and the inner dialogue or the things you really try to keep at bay start to come up. The nervous system will actually start to be like, we don't like this. Like, this isn't your usual state. So you have to reprogram that nervous system, because the body itself, the nervous system, the physical body, is actually associating stress with productivity. It's doing it on purpose. with purpose for you, because it thinks that when you're productive, when you're moving, you are safe. And when you're moving and going, you're in a stress state, and that stress state now becomes the new normal. So intensity is actually becoming your baseline, right? And you know who you are. Like, if I just said that, you and you're like, damn, yes. And I can think of many people right now where intensity is their baseline. Becoming calm actually feels boring. It feels flat. It doesn't feel right to you. So we want to start, because intensity, you need, again, like everything in moderation, right? Like you need intensity sometimes. And also, it can't be your baseline, right? So we have to bring that down and allow ourselves to go up and down and fluctuate through intensity and through all of those things. So now, in all of this, as you're trying to relax, as you're trying to calm, all of this calm feels unfamiliar, and all that you really have to do is push past it. So what I want you to understand too is, like, as I'm saying, and even I want you to like really notice within yourself right now, as I'm saying this, are you actually having a reaction inside? Like, it's like your heart getting a little bit tighter. Like your body's going to tell you your truth. Your body's going to tell you the stories. Now, notice how I said your body's going to tell you your truth. I didn't say the truth, right? It's going to tell you what your truth is. So as I'm saying this, and I'm saying intensity shouldn't be your baseline, or, you really want to seek out calm. And I'm saying this and you're like, ooh, like you're like kind of like coming back, or like you feel that intensity in your body now, where you're like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. I feel tense. I feel stressed in my body. I want you to see and notice that about yourself, because that's your body telling you what your truth is. And your truth then is that calm makes me uncomfortable. And what I want you to start to understand in the mind as well, is that calm is not something that's a passive thing. Okay? Calm is not just like this thing like, oh, la-di-da. Like, it's not passive. It's not, whatever, being whatever about life at all. Okay? Calm is actually a beautiful response to life. Where I started to see this a lot in my own life was that I worked in a very high stress environment. And it was fast paced, high stress, tons of work, dealing with billions of dollars. And in that state, the general energy of the office was stress. And I took that on. I would say that I was not growing up and in my teens. I mean, I took that job right out of college, right? And I was not like a stressed person that I can remember. And when I look at my time in corporate, I see the massive impact of that stress, of how it changed me, of how, and also I learned how to deal with stress in a really big way, right? And how to manage it. But was I actually managing it? No. What I was doing was pushing it down, was surviving in it, until I started to meditate. And when I started to meditate, I started to understand what inner calm was and what a pause was. And that's where I'm saying that calm is a response, because generally, if you are in a stress state and somebody does something, triggers you, whatever it is, you react to it, right? You're probably going to go back. Your emotions are going to be like, your low vibration emotions are going to be ready, willing, and able to defend you, when it's not always necessary. Sometimes it's necessary. I'm not saying that it's not. Sometimes you do need that defense and also that response. But let's call it a response. Like, what I would love to see is you reach for those from a response place and not a reaction place. Okay? So responding is with thought. Responding is intentional. Reactions are from the ego. Responding is truly, I don't want to say it's from the soul, but it's from a calmer place. So that's what I mean when I say that it is responsive. It's not a passive thing. It's not like you're letting things go. You're responding to your environment in a calm manner. Now, what I want to say is there is a huge difference, and I really want to make this like a big caveat here, because there is a big difference between calm and checking out. And I know that we've all been there where we just like mentally check out, emotionally check out of a situation that we are in. That is not calm, that is avoidance. Okay? Calm, again, is a response. So it's you choosing calm. Calm is going to be the thing that keeps you present. It's going to keep you engaged in it. Checking out is you dissociating from. And it's going to disconnect you, and it's going to have you be avoiding everything that's truly happening in the situation. And that's not you dealing with it. Because I'm telling you right now, if you dissociate, you are going to have to go back and work through and deal with that later. And this isn't an episode on dissociating. There are times where you're in survival and dissociating is necessary. So I'm not saying that it's not, but when you're continuously choosing dissociating, or you're dissociating for a really long period of time, it's just not productive for you. It's not good for you to do that. You're just removing yourself from life and not dealing with things. You're avoiding it. And that's not going to get you anywhere. And is that really a life that you want to live? And for me, I'm going to say the answer is hell no, right? I want to be present in my life. I want to be, and even in a situation that feels stressful, even in a situation that feels chaotic, I want to allow myself to find calm in that. So what choosing calm is going to do is it's going to have you make clearer decisions, because you're really choosing that sacred pause. And I think that maybe that's why at Babes, and why generally a lot of people are feeling this energy of like calm going into the new year, because calm it's like allowing you to make clearer decisions. And when you're making those clearer decisions, you have that clarity, you have that again, that like beautiful response to life. What you're doing is you are allowing yourself to just be present in the situation. And there's so much more that you will get out of that than really letting yourself dissociate from. Okay? So I want you to understand that calm, it's also because people don't choose calm because they feel like it's not productive. And again, this is where I'm saying like sometimes you need to slow down before you speed up. Oh, so with this energy of the new year, right? The energy of that, where everybody was feeling that calm energy, I really think it's because we took a sacred pause. Like, even though the holidays are busy, we're busy, they're also a time of, like, for me anyway, and I know a lot of people kind of did this, is you took some time just for you. Like, they call it the void for a reason, right? Like, you're in that void for a reason. They call it that because if you allow yourself to be not busy, not running around everywhere, like even with the kids, like we didn't go, like they weren't at their friends' houses like a lot, maybe once during the entire time that they were off. Like, we were in this cocooned state where we weren't going anywhere. I think it snowed too. It just added to it, right? Like we got a ton of snow and like all of this stuff. And you were doing things for you. Like, I went out, I did do some shopping, but it was like not rushed. It was just easy. And really, like, in that state, I allowed myself that sacred pause. And I think that's what happened with a lot of people, is we allowed ourselves to pause, which then we were able to find that peaceful energy in. So now I feel like I am going. right now. All these manifestations are like coming true. And I feel like it's because I allowed myself that calm. Remember, calm does not stop the movement. It's really what it's going to do is change the quality of your time and the things that you are doing, right? The manifestations. Like I'm looking at my manifestations. I'm like, damn, that like two things I had already. Like it's what? I'm recording this on January 6th. Okay. So in the 2 real working days, let's say of January, I woke up both days to 2 big things in my inbox. Okay. 2 big things. And they were easy. There was nothing, there was no hustling for it. There was no moving for it. I just opened up to it and it was there. And that's where I'm talking about, that surrendered belief. It's because I let myself be calm in the things. So what I want you to do is really allow yourself to just let go of the hustle mentality and effort to make things happen and just let yourself be calm for a little bit. So now, calm, where I'm saying that really calm is like creating this power, is because the energetics of calm is really, it's finding that internal safety that you are safe within. And when you find calm, you find alignment. I'm going to say that again. When you find calm, you find alignment because you are, what we just said before, more clear. You are more clear in decision making. And you've had a moment to reset. You've had a moment to think. You've had a moment to just maybe check in with the soul to like do what you need to do next. And this is going to start to create more relaxation within the body. And when the body relaxes, you find more safety in that. Remember, that nervous system's got to go back and forth between stress and relax, right? Rest and digest and the stress state. It has to go back and forth. We don't want a life that doesn't have any stress in it. We need that, okay? But we also need a life that has rest in it, all right? That's the one that I think a lot of us are missing. So when you start to let yourself go into that rest state, you will actually find so much more safety in your body. And when you find safety in the body and the nervous system settles, you have less resistance, and then you start to open up. And this is where calm creates power, because now you're in a state to receive. Now your body is actually opening up and letting you hold more without overwhelm. Okay, it's letting you open yourself up to the things coming in, and you're saying, okay, I can hold this. I don't have to be overwhelmed by this. And so this is going to create a grounding in the body. Okay. That grounded energy also is extremely expansive, along with that calm energy, all of it extremely expansive. You're opening yourself up, creating space within the body. You don't have it with this hustle effort. It's easy, right? So when we say, and also it's very magnetic. This energy is very magnetic. And magnets magnetize with ease, do they not? They don't have to try, they just are. And you have an internal magnet within you. It's just clouded by all the things. You actually probably have never met, or like more than likely you've never met your inner magnet. I mean, if you've been in a class with me, we usually, a lot of times I'll say, okay, you're going to turn on your magnet, and you start to feel it. Maybe you just felt it for the first time. You felt that inner magnet for the first time. But your magnet exists within you. That's your energetic field. It's coming from your soul. And so that's where I always feel it anyway. I feel it in my soul, my heart, and my solar plexus. And I feel it in like that. And your solar plexus is your power center. And so is your soul. So you're going to feel that magnetic energy turn on, but maybe you have never been able to feel it because you haven't gone within. You haven't done any of those things, or like you don't go within long enough to actually recognize your own power. The whole thing with all of this, right? And there's so many ways to recognize your power, and calm is not just one. It's one way. It's not the only way. But it's a damn good way, and it feels good. But understand that there are so many things outside of you that are going to try to take your power away from you. Nobody wants you to be in your power. Powers that be, these higher up powers, they know that by you being in a stress state and being overworked and being overwhelmed, it takes you out of your power. Like this is something that I want to like scream from the rooftops, to be quite honest with you. It's like the world is actually set up egoically on a 3D level to keep you down. The world is set up on this level to strip your power away and need somebody else to be in power and need somebody to guide you on what society tells you life is supposed to be. And it's not somebody, right? It's a whole body of things. That's how it's set up. You doing this work breaks the mold. And that's why this work is so important. You doing your soulful work, your spiritual work, getting to know yourself, tapping into your power, following your purposes, all of those things break that mold. And as you break the mold, it's going to be uncomfortable. And also, it will lead you to the happiest, most fulfilled, expansive life that's meant for you, truly meant for you. But you do have to break out of it, and breaking out of it feels uncomfortable. I broke out of it, and I did feel uncomfortable. Now I don't. Now it's the most freeing thing I could ever imagine. I could not ever picture going back to a life like that ever. And also, I'm like, how did I do that for so long? It's incredible. But when you break out and break free, it doesn't mean I'm not just saying 9 to 5, because some people are meant for that corporate environment. They're meant to change it. They're meant to bring integrity to it. Like we do need that, but we need it from a not so toxic place. We need it from a place of integrity. And so you have the capacity and the ability to do that. But the more you allow yourself to stay down, stay stuck, stay in a societal system that tells you this is what creates happiness, then the more power is just continuously stripped away from you. So find that power through, number one, coming back to you, and also getting centered, getting calm, getting focused. And as you start to do that, you'll start to see a shift in yourself. I'm telling you, when I look back on the version of me that was in corporate America and was finally tapping into her soul and finally finding that peace, I was so much less reactive. Like, the place could be like crazy people running around, worried about all these things that, were a big deal for the company, or for like things that we had to do. But I didn't have to participate in that. I could just be like, okay, got it. And like do the things that I needed to do. That was such a massive shift in my life. And I finally gained control. Like, I didn't have to be a part of the chaos. And so I found so much power in that. And I became, when people say like someone's a rock for them, why are they a rock for them? It's because they're grounded, they're calm, they have a peace, and they can make clear and quick decisions. And so that's what I feel like I started to become, whether to other people and they felt it, or just to myself. Just to myself is really all that mattered. It was just an incredible shift and change in my life. And I look back on that, and it's all because I started to find that inner peace, that inner calm. And you can do that so easily, okay? You just have to let yourself. So find that power that is sitting within you through that calm, okay? slow down before you speed up. Because when you slow down and find that peace and that power, as you speed up, you will find calm in the chaos, calm in the bigness, calm in all of the things. And you will be able to maintain your manifestations and the things you're calling in so much more easily. That messy middle, it'll still be there, but it's going to be as long. It might not feel as, hard. So I wish nothing but the best for you, for your goals upcoming and all of the things. And if you need any help achieving anything, this is what we do here at Spirit and Soul, right? We want to see your manifestations come to life. You can reach out to us at Spirit and Soul Studio. You can reach out to me. I'm Tiffany Cohen on Instagram, or any of our incredible teachers. Oh my God, we have Frank and Erica, and you could do that through Spirit and Soul. And then we'll point you in the right direction. But also follow them and hear what they have to say, because everybody has a beautiful specialty. Okay? All right. So if this resonated with you and you start to adopt different things, or just even a quote, post it on Instagram, tag us at Spirit and Soul Studio. I love to hear from you and see how you love it. And of course, we always ask that you please leave us a review. It really makes a huge difference. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast.